Welcome to Lesson 5 of Singularity Sanctuary's Ethics and Technology course. Work, Meaning, and Human Dignity. We'll now begin applying what we've learned so far about ethics, especially the humanistic ethic, to real-world concerns, starting with one of the most pressing, technologically based job displacement. When people worry about exponential technology, this is where it often gets personal. It's no longer abstract or philosophical, it feels real and increasingly imminent. Workers across a wide range of fields are beginning to wonder whether their skills will still matter in the coming months and years as machines become capable of performing the same task faster, cheaper, and sometimes better. Drivers, teachers, paralegals, physicians, counselors, accountants, receptionists, secretaries, payroll clerks, bookkeepers, tax preparers, cashiers, warehouse pickers, packers, long-haul truck drivers, managers, data scientists, software developers, coders, actors, singers, songwriters, musicians, and artists of all kinds are all asking the same question: will I still have a job in a few years? And they are right to be concerned, not only about their financial futures, but about who they will be without their jobs. For much of modern history, we have tied human worth very closely to employment. One of the first questions we ask when getting to know someone is, what do you do for a living? Work doesn't just provide income, it often determines social status, identity, and one's sense of purpose. But this connection between work and worth is not a timeless universal truth, it is cultural. And in an age of automation and artificial intelligence, its meaning is shifting. From a humanistic, ethical perspective, the shifting of this paradigm, one that once underpinned a strong work ethic, especially in Western societies, forces us to ask a deeper, first principles question: what is work really for? If work exists primarily to ensure human survival and well-being, then it is a means to an end, not an end in itself. And if technology allows us to meet human needs with less labor, the ethical question is not how to preserve every job at all costs, but how to preserve human dignity, security, and meaning in an exponential world at all costs. The humanistic ethic, concerned with both general human welfare and individual unfolding, reminds us of something essential: that human worth should not depend on one's employment or employability. People do not earn dignity by being useful to an economic system. They possess dignity simply by being human. This is why democracies insist that all people are created equal and endowed with inalienable rights. A shoe shiner has no less dignity than those whose shoes he shines. Consumers have no less dignity than the billionaires whose products they buy. Public school teachers, sanitation workers, and bus drivers are no less equal than the legislators, senators, or presidents they vote for or against. There are occupations that carry great prestige and others that do not. There are people who deeply identify with their work and others who would rather be doing almost anything else with their lives but cannot afford to. There are those whose jobs are greatly aligned with who they are and what they are about, and those whose jobs stand in the way of achieving their greater purposes and potential. An airline pilot may be miserable at work, while a shoe shiner works with joy and satisfaction. For some, work is a path toward fulfillment. For others, it is an obstacle to it. In either case, the pressures of survival often leave little choice but to pursue income rather than happiness. This is why human worth must be unlinked from employability. When employment becomes the sole gateway to survival, to obtaining food, housing, healthcare, and other basic needs, society tends to treat those who cannot work, or those whose work is no longer needed, as if they don't work, as if they are broken or disposable. And when technology disrupts employment faster than people can adapt, unemployment is not a moral failure of individuals, it is a moral failure of a society that's tied human well-being too tightly to labor. From a humanistic perspective, drawing upon Maslow's hierarchy of needs, work is but a means, not an end. The end is ensuring that everyone has access to food, shelter, safety, and good health, the foundations of a dignified life. No ethical society should make access to these necessities contingent on whether a person's labor is currently in demand, especially if it is unwilling or unable to guarantee meaningful employment for all. We must instead establish economic and social systems that reliably meet these needs, systems that fulfill the mandate of the humanistic ethic. At the same time, the humanistic ethic recognizes our need for belonging, esteem, creativity, and meaning, needs that appear higher on Maslow's hierarchy. Society best supports these not by prescribing purpose, but by securing basic needs, protecting rights and freedoms, and allowing individuals the space to pursue their own paths. Meaning and self-actualization may be expressed through work, but they are not reducible to work. The danger in an automated age is not that humans will become useless, it is that we will continue to measure ourselves by outdated standards of usefulness. A humanistic approach to employment asks us not to eliminate work, but to rethink its role, to decouple survival from employment and productivity from dignity. This does not mean abandoning responsibility, effort, or contribution. It means recognizing that contribution takes many forms: caregiving, creativity, learning, community building, mentoring, and exploration, forms of value that traditional labor markets have often ignored or undervalued. Technology offers us an opportunity here. Automation can reduce drudgery, AI can augment creativity, productivity gains can free time, but only if we choose to distribute these benefits ethically. When people fear technological unemployment, they are rarely fearing idleness. They are fearing abandonment. They are fearing invisibility. They are fearing being treated as disposable. A society guided by the humanistic ethic cannot allow this. Instead, it focuses on ensuring basic security in a post-scarcity world, and that is a world of abundance. It supports lifelong learning and reinvention, and it expands opportunities for meaningful contribution beyond wage labor. These are not technical challenges, they are ethical ones, and they force us to confront a fundamental question. Do we truly believe that people matter more than systems? That everyone deserves BQL, a basic quality of life, simply because they are human beings? The humanistic ethic answers clearly. Work should serve human flourishing, not determine who deserves it. Decoupling work from the obtaining of our basic quality of life may be among the greatest challenges of our exponential age, so that every person has an opportunity to pursue their own purpose and meaning, and in so doing, add to the wealth of human understanding, creativity, and opportunity. In our next lesson, we'll turn to education and ask how learning must change when intelligence is no longer scarce, but wisdom remains in great demand.